How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Z Garage. And we're starting this week already ahead because I didn't film anything last week, but I still did work. If you can kind of see around me, I've got some pieces that we painted last week. I have the front bumper over here. I have the rear bumper right here. I have the spoiler right there. And then we painted the back of the car. You can see there's sections of black in all of these. I'm going to show you them in just a second because I do want you to kind of see how it came out. But I am really, really happy with it for the majority of this. There are definitely some sections that I wish could have gone better, but you know, I think it's going to still look really, really good. And you know, it's going to be a solid 10-foot car for sure, with all the little dust nibs and everything that I found along the process. And you know, it's fine because this is me painting my car. It's kind of, you know, not a professional job. This is my first time, and I think it's coming out really, really good. So I'll go ahead and show you in just a second. The paint laid down fairly well. When it first went down, it was pretty kind of bumpy, and I was really scared. So the paint that I was using for the white on all this, I had it mixed here in my city, but it's Omni brand, and it was kind of expensive. It was like $300, $400 a gallon, which is on par for many things you'll see online, but Summit is where I got the black from, and it's where I actually originally was going to use white paint from, because you can get a gallon for like $100 of nice urethane paint. And so I ended up going with the white in town because I didn't have an activator for it, and I wanted to paint that weekend. That was a whole thing, but I went ahead and bought black paint from Summit, and so I was kind of scared putting the black paint on how it would stack up to the white paint. And the stuff that I got here in town, I think it definitely laid down a lot smoother overall. I can just, you know, see all like the little, you know, waviness in the black paint on its own. Especially when I first laid it down, it was pretty rough, but it really did smooth out pretty well. I'm using clear coat from Summit as well for these pieces, so together those should work fine, and there's not a ton of overlap onto the white paint, so I don't think there's going to be any weird incompatibility between the two paints. Any places that you are painting on top of a urethane, you're supposed to scuff it again. I didn't paint the sections that I left black here, so I didn't have to do that, but just in case you guys were curious, if you're ever painting on top of urethane, you're supposed to scuff it before you put more paint on, so it can actually get a good adhesion to it. So overall, guys, it's looking really, really good. I'll go ahead and pick up the camera in just a second and show you around, but I'm really, really excited. This week, this episode, we're gonna go ahead and finish the painting. Fingers crossed. I kind of was sizing this up earlier, and there's kind of a lot to do, so we got to jump to it. But basically, it is chrome trim pieces all day, every day for the next, you know, 24 hours, basically, as I'm just working to get this done. Because I have some stuff that I want to do on Sunday, so that leaves us only tonight. Tonight is Friday night, and then tomorrow is Saturday to hopefully get this done. So it is chrome trim pieces. We need to do the quarter windows, the chrome around that. The rear hatch has chrome on the top and on the bottom. All the sides are removable, so those are a little bit easier. Around the doors and on the T-tops, those are all chrome trim. And I don't have any chrome around my windshield anymore, but theoretically you could have that as well if you were doing this. So kind of a lot to do. I don't have tons of working space, and I only have 4 of these dollies, or the sawhorses. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can set everything up and spray it all. It shouldn't be tons of paint. It is just a lot of individual pieces to get done. And the rear hatch and the T-tops are gonna be kind of big pieces that I need to, you know, make sure that they're taped on the bottom as well, because we don't want the paint going underneath and painting the glass. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on everything. I'll give you guys a quick tour real quick so you can see how these black pieces came out. I think they look really good. And then we'll just move on to the chrome trim. All right, guys, so we're gonna start off at the back right here with the bumper, and it's looking pretty good. If I come down here, you can kind of see the orange peel in this paint. So it is not quite as smooth as the white paint. See if I can get you a little view. It's a little hard because it's not going to focus on the white quite as easily. So there's a little bit of orange peel on there, but not quite as much as this cheaper paint. So I guess you get what you pay for. This was like, I think $20, $25 for a quart, plus the activator, you know. So I got one activator and it works for both the black paint and the clear coat. So I saved a little bit of money there instead of buying a whole gallon of the black paint because I'm not going to use all of it. All that to say, I think it still looks really, really good. You can see right here where I body worked with this bumper. It's not perfect because of the way it kind of comes down. But, you know, this is going to be downwards and it's going to be, you know, towards the bottom of the car. So you're not really going to see this all that much. It is really just more for aesthetics than anything else. So I think it's going to be fine. You can see I didn't do quite the perfect paint job or taping job right there. Got a little bit of overlap onto the white. what can you do? But overall, it looks really good. Here's the front bumper. This is actually one of my favorite pieces because it is just this inside section here that is the black. It looks really, really good. I got a few runs over on this side. I didn't get quite perfect coverage on the top, but again, you can't really see any of these sections super easily when it's on the car, so I'm not super worried about that. Here's the rear spoiler, and this actually came out probably the best of the three pieces because one, it was already super smooth on its own, and two, it was just easy to access, no weird angles. You know, all of these have like sides, tops, bottoms. I had to come over here to get the top, you know, insides, especially on this one, trying to get the paint gun down here to spray this and then come up around and spray that. So the rear spoiler was definitely the easiest, and it came out looking really, really good, super smooth, super happy with it. I think this looks awesome. And then the final piece that I painted was, of course, the back right here where the license plate goes. And I was just pretty rough with this one. A little bit of tape, you know, towards where the lights are gonna go. And then along the bottom, you can see I got a little bit of overspray right there, a little bit of overspray down there. But overall, this is looking really good as well. Just a really nice shiny black. It's just gonna look really good with our license plate up in here. One thing to note, because I made this mistake, is that you want to go ahead and take the tape off of like these holes and stuff, you know, like 30 minutes after your last clear coat. And I forgot to take the tape out of these holes here when I first did the white paint. And so this stuff is actually really, really hard now. So I'm probably gonna have to go in and cut this with a knife. All these little holes, these are just divots. There's a hole in one of these. I'll go from the back, look where the tape is supposed to be. I'll look where the tape is supposed to be, and then I'll go ahead and, you know, cut a hole there. Nothing too crazy, not a huge issue, but definitely always remember that you're gonna wanna go ahead and take the tape off pretty soon after you paint. So that was just an oversight on my part. I did the same thing with the antenna hole over here, where I had to cut it out because it was just pretty much solidified on there. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. I need to go ahead and clear some of the stuff out so I can start getting the other trim pieces in here. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. I think right after tomorrow when we paint, we can go ahead and start assembling the car. I don't know if I'm going to show it in this video or if that'll be next week when we do the reveal of the car reassembled. But I am really, really excited, guys. So let's go ahead and get to work and see what happens. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have got black paint on all these pieces, a little bit of overspray on the glass right here, you know, nothing too crazy. We got all of the lines around the actual edges really, really nice, so I'm not too worried about that. The glass should clean up easy enough with a razor blade, maybe a little bit of paint remover, so not too crazy. We did the T-tops. I went ahead and just painted over this outer seal. This is like a foam edge right here, and there was just no way of getting masking tape to stick to that, so I went ahead and just painted over it. It might chip the paint in the future on those sections, but I don't really care too much, I guess. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. We got the chrome pieces on the hatch done. This one on the bottom here next to the white looks so good. It looks really, really good. I love it. A couple of the chrome pieces in here that I have resting for now. We got the chrome along the doors here. You can see I got a tiny little bit of overspray right there, but this is going to go ahead and just wet sand right off, so I'm not too worried about it. We didn't do the chrome on the handles, so I'll go ahead and figure out what I want to do with the handles, whether we want to go white with them or black with them or something custom, like a different kind of handle. I've been thinking about doing something like that, but you know, we'll get to that in the future. But that is pretty much it, guys. As you can see, I've started taking all the plastic off, bundling it up here for cleanup. So I'm really, really excited because this car is looking really, really good, and we're finally done with the painting and ready to go ahead and get it reassembled. I think one more thing that I'm gonna have to do in the future, I don't know if I'll film it or not, is there's kind of a light coating of, you know, like white paint on all this. I didn't cover it well enough when we did the first white paint on the car, and it's kind of just dusty now. So it is cured dusty, which is not great, but I think it should still clean up well enough with a little bit of, you know, elbow grease. So let me go ahead and set this camera up real quick, and I want to go ahead and talk to you guys for 1 minute before we finish about what the next 2 months before Branson is going to look like. All right, guys, so today is April 13th, it looks like, which means that we are like a month and a half away from Branson Z Fest, which is crazy because I can't believe it's already been a year. I can't believe that time this year, 2025, has progressed so quickly. But we need to go ahead and just put the pedal to the metal, get this car back running again. I think the only real thing that I need to go ahead and figure out is, one, I need to make sure the throttle can open fully. I've mentioned this a couple times that we need to go ahead and readjust like the throw on the pedal or like the pulley on the throttle, one of those two, because we're not getting a full 100% open throttle. The next thing is going to be AC. I really would love to get AC in this car. So we're gonna probably go ahead and put all the original stuff back in. You remember I moved the AC compressor down to where the Z32 mounts it, but then we'll go ahead and have to take it to a shop to get some custom lines made. So that's gonna be, you know, a little bit. But other than that, guys, nothing crazy. I would love to get some new wheels and tires. You know, just something that fits this car a little bit better now that it's painted and all back together. But we'll work on that as we keep going. So, pretty much this weekend, reassembly, next weekend, a little bit of reassembly, and then getting the car back into a driving state. I think that's not gonna really take that much time, but we need to go ahead and make sure everything is looking good, make sure that there's no oil leaks or loose fittings. I saw a little bit of oil on the oil cooler, but I did have a leak on that previously, so I don't know if that was residual. We'll go ahead and double check. I think the front lip on the front bumper might need a little bit of adjustment to go ahead and fit properly. I never quite got it to fit right beforehand, so we'll go ahead and see. That's not something I have to run, but it is something that does look good when it's on there. I think that is kind of it. There's nothing crazy to do, guys. We are really close to having a finished, good looking driving car. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following along with this entire process. If you remember, I started this, I think, end of November, beginning of December, something like that, the paint process. So it's been 4-ish months, and it has just been so much work, so much effort, but I am really excited to have it in this final finished state. It is looking really good, and I cannot wait to get this thing going. So guys, tune in next week. Hopefully we have a driving, or you know, at least looking good car that's all back together, and then we can start working on some really fun stuff before Branson Z Fest. I want to put tons and tons of miles on this before Branson Z Fest if I can, just to prove out that it's not going to leave me stranded on the 13-hour drive to Branson. So I'm really looking forward to it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.